The universe trembled as a storm of ki erupted in the world of void, the endless white expanse serving as the battleground for the most fearsome warriors. Goku and Vegeta stood side by side, their muscles tense, their breaths heavy, their eyes locked onto their opponent, the fused Saiyan warrior Kefla, now in her monstrous Super Saiyan 4 form. Her golden and crimson aura crackled like lightning, her wild mane of hair swaying as she smirked, flexing her clawed fingers. "You two really think you stand a chance against me now?" she taunted, her voice echoing with power. Goku wiped a trickle of blood from his lip, his Ultra Instinct form flickering like a dying flame. Beside him, Vegeta's royal blue aura pulsed erratically, his body battered from their previous exchanges. "We're not done yet," Vegeta growled, spitting to the side. "We just need one shot." Goku nodded, his mind racing. They had fought Kefla before, but this time, she had transcended her limits, pushing beyond Super Saiyan 4 with an unnatural fusion of raw Saiyan strength and God Ki. The battle had begun hours ago when Kefla, fueled by the desperation of her universe's erasure, had unlocked a terrifying new evolution. The tournament of power had long ended, but the echoes of the Zenith game lingered. Somehow, Kefla had survived, consumed by vengeance. Now, she sought to erase all Saiyans who had ever humiliated her, starting with Goku and Vegeta. Goku clenched his fists, his silver hair flickering back to black as his Ultra Instinct faltered. "Darn it, I can't hold it steady," he muttered. Vegeta scoffed. "TCH. You always rely too much on that technique." Before Goku could retort, Kefla lunged, her fist aimed at his gut. Goku barely twisted away, but her knee shot up, cracking against his chin. He flipped backward, skidding across the void as Vegeta intercepted with a brutal elbow to Kefla's ribs. She grunted but retaliated with a spinning kick, her heel slamming into Vegeta's shoulder, sending him crashing into Goku. The two Saiyans tumbled, their bodies screaming in protest. "We can't keep this up," Goku admitted, forcing himself up. Vegeta wiped his brow, his pride warring with pragmatism. "There's only one way left," he muttered. Goku met his gaze, understanding dawning. "Fusion?" Vegeta nodded grimly. "If we don't, she'll kill us both." Kefla laughed, crossing her arms. "Oh, this should be good. Go ahead, give me your best shot before I end you." Her power flared, the ground beneath her feet cracking despite the void's nature. Goku and Vegeta took their stances, their fingers poised for the fusion dance. "Ready?" Goku asked. "Just don't mess it up," Vegeta snapped. In perfect sync, they moved, step, slide, step, pose. A blinding light erupted as their bodies merged, their essences intertwining. When the radiance faded, a new warrior stood in their place, Gogeta, clad in the fiery hues of Super Saiyan God. Kefla's smirk faltered briefly before she regained her composure. "A fusion? Cute. But I've beaten fusions before." Gogeta cracked his knuckles, his voice a perfect blend of Goku's warmth and Vegeta's arrogance. "Not like this, you haven't." His aura exploded, shifting from red to a dazzling silver white, Ultra Instinct, mastered seamlessly. Kefla's eyes widened. "What?" Before she could react, Gogeta vanished, reappearing behind her. His fist slammed into her spine, sending her rocketing forward. She barely caught herself, flipping mid-air, only for Gogeta to meet her with a knee to the gut. She coughed blood, her body folding from the impact, but her rage flared. With a roar, she unleashed a point-blank energy wave. Gogeta crossed his arms, the blast washing over him harmlessly. Kefla panted, her form flickering between Super Saiyan 4 and something darker. "No. I won't lose." Her body convulsed as her power surged uncontrollably, her muscles bulging, her aura turning pitch black. Gogeta's eyes narrowed. She's overloading her fusion. The unstable energy tore at Kefla's body, her screams echoing as she lunged, her attacks wild and desperate. Gogeta weaved through her strikes, countering with precise blows, each hit landing with devastating accuracy. But Kefla refused to fall, her body regenerating almost instantly. She's adapting, Gogeta realized. With a final, earth-shattering roar, Kefla unleashed a colossal energy sphere, the sheer force distorting reality around it. Gogeta braced himself, his hands glowing as he prepared the ultimate counter. The clash was imminent, the fate of the Saiyans hanging in the balance. To be continued. The battlefield trembled as Goku and Vegeta's fused form, Gogeta, clashed with the monstrously powerful Kefla, her Super Saiyan 4 energy radiating like a storm. The air crackled with ki, the ground splitting beneath their feet as they traded blows faster than light. Kefla's laughter echoed, her fist slamming into Gogeta's guard, forcing him back. "Is this all the legendary fusion can do?" she taunted, her emerald aura flaring. Gogeta smirked, wiping a trickle of blood from his lip. We're just getting started. Suddenly, a distortion rippled through space, and a familiar figure materialized, Broly, his eyes wild, his muscles bulging with unrestrained power. But something was wrong. His usual rage was tempered by an eerie, calculating glare. Broly? Gogeta muttered, tightening his stance. Before he could react, Broly lunged, his fist connecting with Gogeta's ribs, sending him skidding across the battlefield. Kefla's grin widened. Looks like you've got company. Gogeta steadied himself, his mind racing. Broly wasn't supposed to be here, and he wasn't attacking randomly. His movements were precise, deliberate. Then it hit him, Broly was under control. Someone was pulling his strings. A shadowy figure emerged from the rift, an alien sorcerer draped in crimson robes, his fingers weaving dark energy. You've been a thorn in my side for too long, the sorcerer hissed. Now, watch as your ally becomes your executioner. Kefla, sensing the shift in dynamics, hesitated. She hadn't signed up for this. Who the hell are you? She demanded. The sorcerer ignored her, his focus locked on Gogeta. Broly roared, his body surging with even greater power, his green aura tinged with streaks of black. Gogeta clenched his fists. He couldn't hold back now. With a burst of speed, he vanished, reappearing behind Broly with a spinning kick. Broly barely flinched, countering with a brutal elbow to Gogeta's spine. The fused warrior gritted his teeth, flipping midair to avoid a follow-up blast. The terrain became their weapon. Gogeta hurled a ki blast at the ground, kicking up a dust cloud to obscure Broly's vision. He then teleported above, channeling a Kamehameha downward. Broly roared, intercepting it with a lariat strike, the collision shaking the planet. Kefla, now caught in the crossfire, dodged debris, her instincts screaming at her to retreat. But pride kept her rooted. I didn't come here to play second fiddle. She snarled, charging at the sorcerer. The sorcerer chuckled, flicking his wrist. A barrier of dark energy repelled her, sending her crashing into a mountainside. Gogeta seized the distraction, landing a devastating punch to Broly's gut, followed by a point-blank Big Bang attack. Broly staggered but didn't fall. His eyes glowed brighter, his body adapting. Damn it, he's getting stronger. Gogeta realized. Meanwhile, Kefla emerged from the rubble, her pride wounded. She glared at the sorcerer. You're dead. The battle split into two fronts, Gogeta versus Broly, and Kefla versus the sorcerer. Gogeta pushed his limits, his fusion time dwindling. He feinted left, then unleashed a flurry of god kicks, each strike aimed at Broly's pressure points. Broly countered with raw brutality, his fists like meteors. The ground beneath them liquefied from the heat of their clash. Kefla, meanwhile, fought with reckless fury. She blasted the sorcerer's barrier with a full power energy wave, cracking it. The sorcerer sneered, summoning shadow clones to overwhelm her. Kefla weaved through them, her instincts sharp, but one clone landed a sneak attack, its energy blade slicing her arm. She hissed in pain but retaliated with a point-blank ki cannon, obliterating the clone. Gogeta, sensing their disadvantage, made a desperate play. He teleported next to Kefla. Truce? He panted. Kefla scoffed but nodded. Just until this creep's gone. Together, they launched a synchronized assault, Gogeta's Stardust Breaker combined with Kefla's gigantic ray. The sorcerer's eyes widened as the attacks converged, engulfing him in a cataclysmic explosion. But the victory was short-lived. Broly, now fully berserk, erupted from the smoke, his power dwarfing theirs. The fusion flickered, Gogeta was running out of time. Kefla cursed. We're screwed. Gogeta, however, smirked. Not yet. His aura shifted, glowing white-hot. Let's see how you handle this. The final transformation, White God, Stage 3, unleashed. The battlefield fell silent as Gogeta's power reached unimaginable heights. The real fight was just beginning. The battlefield trembled as Gogeta's fusion timer ticked away, his white-haired form flickering between power and exhaustion. Across the shattered landscape, Kefla, her Super Saiyan 4 aura blazing, grinned through bloody teeth. You're running out of time, fusion, she taunted, cracking her knuckles. Goku and Vegeta's merged consciousness strained to maintain cohesion, their minds clashing even as their bodies fought. We need to finish this now, Vegeta's voice growled within their shared mind. But she's adapting to our moves, Goku countered, his usual optimism fraying. Then, without warning, Kefla's energy spiked. Her crimson hair flared brighter, her muscles bulging grotesquely as she unleashed a technique neither Saiyan had seen before, a twisted imitation of the spirit bomb, but forged from stolen energy. "You idiots left your allies wide open," she sneered, gesturing to the unconscious forms of Piccolo and Gohan, their life force siphoned into her attack. The orb of crackling malice swelled above her palm, casting shadows across the wasteland. Gogeta's eyes widened. That's not just her power, she's draining the planet. Vegeta's rage surged, threatening to destabilize the fusion. She's a parasite. The revelation struck like a physical blow. Kefla wasn't just fighting to win. She was consuming everything, their friends, the Earth itself, to fuel her evolution. Gogeta's fists clenched. Desperation fueled a reckless plan. "We'll detonate our energy at point-blank range," Goku proposed. "It'll cancel out her attack, but it'll break the fusion," Vegeta finished, grim. For once, they agreed. As Kefla hurled her stolen energy, Gogeta lunged, arms outstretched. Now. Their bodies erupted in a kamikaze flare of light, the collision shaking the cosmos. The explosion tore them apart. Goku and Vegeta crashed to the ground, seared and gasping, but alive. Kefla staggered, her stolen energy dissipating, but she wasn't done. "Pathetic," she spat, regenerating faster than they could stand. Then, from the smoke, a voice rasped, "You forgot about me." Beerus, battered but grinning, levitated behind her, his claws crackling with Hakai energy. "I've been saving this." The god of destruction's eyes glowed violet as he unleashed his full power, not at Kefla, but at the sky. Reality itself split, revealing a writhing void. "What?" Kefla whirled, but too late. The rift yawned, dragging her into it. "You're not just fighting Saiyans," Beerus panted. "You're fighting fate." As the portal sealed, Goku and Vegeta exchanged an exhausted glance. The cost was clear, their fusion had failed, their allies were spent, and Kefla's true goal, devouring reality, was far worse than they'd imagined. "We need a new plan," Vegeta muttered. Goku nodded, staring at his trembling hands. "And we're running out of time." The battlefield trembled as Gogeta's fusion timer ticked away, leaving Vegeta and Goku standing side by side, battered but unbroken. Across from them, Kefla's Super Saiyan 4 energy crackled like a storm, her smirk widening as she cracked her knuckles. "Fusion or not, you two can't keep up," she taunted, lunging forward in a blur of pink and gold. Goku barely raised his arms in time to block her kick, the impact sending shockwaves through the canyon. Vegeta retaliated with a point-blank Gallic gun, but Kefla twisted midair, dodging before slamming her fist into his ribs. Gritting his teeth, Vegeta flipped backward, skidding across the ground. "We need a new plan," he growled. Goku wiped blood from his lip, his eyes flickering between blue and silver, Ultra Instinct wavering. "We don't have time to fuse again," he admitted. Then, an idea sparked. "But we don't need to." Kefla charged again, her fist aimed for Goku's skull, but this time, he sidestepped at the last second, his body moving on instinct. Simultaneously, Vegeta unleashed a barrage of ki blasts, forcing her to backflip away. The two Saiyans exchanged a glance, wordless understanding passing between them. They attacked in unison. Goku weaved through Kefla's strikes, his movements fluid, while Vegeta hammered her defenses with explosive punches. Kefla snarled, powering up further, her aura flaring like a supernova. She vanished, reappearing behind Vegeta, but Goku intercepted, their fists colliding in a shockwave that shattered the terrain. "Predictable," Kefla spat, pivoting to knee Goku in the gut. Yet before she could follow up, Vegeta's elbow smashed into her spine, sending her crashing into a cliffside. Rocks rained down as she pushed herself up, her eyes blazing. "You pests." Goku and Vegeta stood shoulder to shoulder, panting but determined. "We can't overpower her like this," Vegeta muttered. "But if we sync our energies." "Like when we trained with Whis," Goku finished, nodding. Closing their eyes, they focused, their auras intertwining, not fusion, but harmony. Their power stabilized, resonating in perfect rhythm. Kefla lunged again, her fist aimed for Goku's face, but this time, he caught it. At the same moment, Vegeta's palm glowed crimson, a point-blank Big Bang attack detonating against her ribs. Kefla screamed as she was hurled backward, her armor smoking. Enraged, she unleashed a massive energy wave, the sheer force splitting the earth beneath them. Goku and Vegeta crossed their arms, bracing against the blast, their feet carving trenches in the ground. As the smoke cleared, Kefla hovered above, gathering a sphere of crackling energy. "This ends now." Goku's eyes snapped open, silver irises gleaming. Ultra Instinct surged through him, his body moving before his mind could react. He shot upward, deflecting Kefla's blast skyward, the explosion lighting up the clouds. Vegeta, seizing the opening, teleported behind her, his fist encased in blue fire. Final flash. The beam engulfed Kefla, but she roared through it, her body straining against the energy. Goku appeared above her, his fist slamming downward, driving her into the crater below. The ground quaked, dust swallowing the battlefield. Silence. Then, laughter. Kefla emerged, her form flickering between Super Saiyan 4 and something darker, her power unstable but growing. "You're just making me stronger," she hissed. Goku and Vegeta exchanged a glance. They were running out of time. Then, a voice echoed in their minds, Whis' calm tone. "True strength isn't just power. It's trust." Goku smirked. "Guess we gotta go all out, huh?" Vegeta scoffed, but his lips curled. "Don't hold back, Kakarot." Their auras erupted, gold and blue merging into a blinding radiance. Kefla's eyes widened as they charged, their movements synchronized perfectly. Goku feinted left, drawing her strike, while Vegeta hammered her from the right. Each blow landed with precision, their teamwork flawless. Kefla stumbled, her confidence wavering. "No, this isn't possible." Goku's fist connected with her jaw, sending her spinning. Vegeta followed with a crushing axe kick, driving her into the earth. As she struggled to rise, they hovered above, their hands clasped together, a sphere of swirling energy forming between them. "Let's finish this," Vegeta growled. Goku nodded. "Right." Their combined attack, a fusion of Kamehameha and Gallic Gun, streaked toward Kefla, the sheer force distorting reality itself. She screamed, throwing up her arms, but the energy swallowed her whole. The explosion lit up the horizon, the shockwave rippling across the planet. As the dust settled, only silence remained. Goku and Vegeta dropped to their knees, exhausted but victorious. Kefla lay motionless, her power extinguished. Vegeta smirked. "Not bad. For a last-minute plan." Goku laughed weakly, collapsing onto his back. "Yeah. But next time, let's just fuse." The sun rose over the battlefield, casting light on the aftermath of their hardest fight yet. But somewhere in the cosmos, darker forces stirred, their next challenge already looming. The battlefield trembled as two colossal energies clashed, the shockwaves ripping through the fabric of the universe itself. Goku and Vegeta, now fused as Vegito, stood battered but unbroken, their white-haired forms flickering with exhaustion. Across from them, Kefla, her Super Saiyan 4 power surging, grinned wildly, her fists crackling with untamed energy. "You two are finished," she taunted, lunging forward with a flurry of punches so fast they blurred reality. Vegito barely dodged, his muscles screaming in protest, but he countered with a spinning kick that sent her skidding back. The fight had reached its climax. Every punch, every energy blast, was a desperate gamble. Vegito's body ached, fusion had its limits, and they were nearing theirs. But in the depths of his mind, something stirred. A whisper of power, deeper than ultra instinct, purer than godly ki. White God, third stage. The realization hit like lightning. He had been holding back, afraid of the strain. But now, with Kefla charging another universe-shattering blast, there was no choice. As Kefla unleashed her attack, a spiraling wave of destruction, Vegito closed his eyes. Time seemed to slow. His body ignited in radiant white fire, his aura expanding like a supernova. The third stage wasn't just power, it was transcendence. He moved, not with speed, but with inevitability. The blast parted around him as if repelled by fate itself. Kefla's eyes widened in shock. Impossible. Vegito appeared before her in an instant, his fist slamming into her gut with the force of a collapsing star. She gasped, blood spraying from her lips as she folded over. Before she could react, he spun, driving his elbow into her spine, sending her crashing into the ground. The earth split beneath her, fissures racing for miles. But Kefla wasn't done. With a roar, she pushed back, her aura flaring violently. "I won't lose," she screamed, her power surging beyond its limits. The two clashed again, fists meeting in explosions of light. Each impact warped space, threatening to tear the world apart. Vegito gritted his teeth, feeling the fusion waver. He had seconds left. One last move. Channeling every ounce of the third stage, his hand glowed blindingly white. Kefla, sensing the danger, charged recklessly, her fist aimed for his heart. But at the last moment, Vegito sidestepped, his palm striking her chest. A silent detonation. The world turned white. Kefla's body convulsed as the energy tore through her, her form flickering between Super Saiyan 4 and her base state. Then, with a final gasp, she collapsed, her power extinguished. The battlefield fell eerily quiet. Vegito staggered, his fusion unraveling. In a flash of light, Goku and Vegeta stood side by side, panting heavily. Vegeta scowled, wiping blood from his lip. "Took you long enough to figure it out," he muttered. Goku grinned weakly. "Hey! Guess we make a pretty good team." As the dust settled, the others rushed forward. Whis hovered nearby, his usual smirk replaced with rare approval. "The White God Third Stage. A power even the gods have yet to master. You've rewritten the rules of battle." The aftermath was profound. With Kefla defeated, the balance of the multiverse shifted. The Saiyans' potential had reached new heights, proving mortals could rival, even surpass, the divine. Goku and Vegeta, though exhausted, knew this was only the beginning. Their rivalry, their growth, would continue. But for now, as the sun set over the broken battlefield, they allowed themselves a moment of peace. The universe had changed. And so had they.